Hello everybody, Gannon here, back with, strangely, another theory video. Yeah, I know, I'm slightly on a roll with these. Me and Dylan did one the other day, which I will link right now in a tag, and we were talking about how Mihawk could possibly be Rayleigh's son, given that little context in that one chapter that was recently touched upon in an SBS. And I was like, okay, well, Oda was actually trying to point towards the fact that we have some baby connections here, and the first thing that came to my head was, yo, does Rayleigh have a kid? Is Mihawk his kid? That would kind of make sense. While I'm thinking this, Dylan reminded me that there's this theory that I didn't even know about, that the whole community knows about at this point, that Shanks is probably Xebec's son. I was super ignorant to this. I was like, yo, this is kind of coming out of left field. But no, this is a super popular theory because it makes a lot of sense. God Valley occurred 38 years ago. Shanks is 39, meaning he would have been a 1-year-old child at the time. I'm pretty convinced that Xebec has red hair because Rockstar is a guy that showed up at the first real piratey appearance of Shanks. Okay, now I know we saw Shanks earlier in the story in Romance Dawn, but the first real Yonko appearance of Shanks, I'm pretty sure, is when he went to go talk to Whitebeard aboard his ship, but prior to that, he sent out this crewmate named Rockstar, and as soon as we found out who Xebec was in the story, as soon as he was revealed, instantly thought of Rockstar and was like, yo, their silhouettes make them seem like they're the same person. Rockstar has got to be like a foreshadowing to something that has to do with Xebec. It's gotta be a foreshadowing tool. Rockstar is aboard Shanks's crew. Rockstar has red hair. Rockstar is supposed to be like a literal Xebec insert, so Xebec probably had velvety red hair like Shanks. So I'm pretty convinced at this point the dates add up. The red hair is highly implied to probably be there if the anime hasn't shown Xebec with a red outline or red hair. I don't know. I just know in my heart that this guy probably has red hair. Also, something that I brought up in the last video, jockness and strength in One Piece is pretty hereditary. You have the Monkey D's, you have possibly Shanks and Xebec, you have Yamato and Kaido, you have Big Mom and her super monster meta children. So it makes a lot of sense. So let's just get into the theory because there's a lot to pack in here. If you want to know about my current theory attitudes in One Piece at the moment, go and just check out my last 2 theory videos and probably just tune into the One Pod podcast. Every once in a while we talk about power scaling and theories on there. Basically, I think Shanks was 1 when he went to the Roger Pirates crew in the aftermath of Roger and Garp defeating Xebec. I believe that Roger took Shanks and put him on his crew. He even said earlier in the story with Ace to Garp that a child bears no sin, and that they should not have to bear the sins of their father. Roger took Shanks into his crew, and since Shanks was on the Roger Pirates crew for most of his life, I don't think he was sentient or anything, or even intelligent enough to know who Xebec was when he was a 1-year-old child. I just think that maybe Xebec either made a plea with Roger to take his son, or Roger just saw Shanks and decided to take him with him because he felt bad. Shanks grew up on the Roger Pirates crew, which is why he's kind of a level-headed and good guy, whereas Xebec is kind of described to be power-hungry and nefarious. Sometime after leaving the Roger Pirates crew, after Roger found the One Piece, Shanks was probably informed by either a remnant of the Roger Pirates or a remnant of the Rocks Pirates about Xebec. I believe when Shanks was actually a little bit older, and after the Roger Pirates disbanded, when there was really no threat of him knowing this information, somebody came up to him and told him, hey, your dad was Xebec, and this is something that you have not known your entire life. And the reason why I think it was probably a remnant of the Rocks pirate crew more than the Roger Pirates is because when the person comes and informs Shanks about his father, Xebec, I believe they kind of describe his intentions as being righteous, even though they probably weren't. He probably learned about his father's selfish campaign on becoming the prophesized Joy Boy. Rocksteady Xebec was super woke and knew about Joy Boy and probably knew of the prophecy, and he took it upon himself to actually band together a group of super strong and powerful pirates because he knows that the end goal is to overthrow the world government. Like, that's truly what Joy Boy is supposed to do. That is like the end game, the ultimate goal of One Piece. But the problem with this is that Rocksteady Xebec is not the all-righteous poster boy that Joy Boy is probably supposed to be. He is kind of implied to be quite the evil guy, has a bunch of evil shitheads on his crew that constantly just want to kill each other, they hate each other, they don't work together, and even when they accomplish great things, they don't even care because they're just so disgusted with who they have to do it with. So Shanks is like listening to this and he's like, okay, Pops, you know, you're dead and everything, but I'll continue your goals. It's obvious that neither you or myself is Joy Boy, and I think Shanks realized this, so I think perhaps Shanks' true goal in motivation in the One Piece world, the reason why he's actually a Yonko, the reason why he's taking the effort to become such a powerful pirate and badass, the reason why he rose to a place of power is in order to find the next Joy Boy specifically, and I'll get to in a little bit what Shanks is going to do once he finds Joy Boy, because I think Shanks realizes that neither him or Xebec are Joy Boy. So he's like, okay, well, we need Joy Boy to overthrow the world government and like actually get shit done. My father was probably slightly selfish. It's either Shanks believed that his father was like slightly selfish, or he believes his father's goals were righteous and this information was kind of spoon-fed to him. So Shanks is really trying to find the next Joy Boy. Xebec was probably honestly pretty close to being able to do some substantial damage to the world government, maybe even possibly overthrow it. But the thing is that Gold Roger is truly like an important mechanism in the story. I believed for the longest time that Gold Roger created the One Piece to steer Luffy in the direction of overthrowing the world government and truly like putting Luffy on this righteous path. Roger also had a huge mechanism in the story when he defeated the wrongful Joy Boy, the person who was like coming up out of the woodwork, kind of almost fulfilling the Joy Boy prophecy in a way by defeating the world government. Roger and Garp kicked his ass, defeated the Rocks Pirates, because obviously Rocksteady Xebec was not meant to be the next Joy Boy. I don't think Roger really knew this at the time. This is kind of a fate and destiny thing, that Roger was meant to show up. He was meant to work with Garp, and he was also meant to defeat Rocksteady Xebec, and he was also meant to take Shanks aboard his crew. Or maybe not. I think you'll see in a little bit, it's either that we have a righteous Shanks or we have a slightly evil Shanks. And like I've stated before, Sengoku even said, the problem with the Rocks Pirates is that while they were so powerful, while they even did have like a legitimate chance of overthrowing the world government, they hated each other. They took no pride in their accomplishments. They were disgusted by each other. And this is the part when Sengoku says this that convinces me that we're going to have some Shanks twist action here. The twist is that Shanks is the son of Xebec. He's been trying to further his father's goal in a much more level-headed way by searching for the next Joy Boy and manipulating him from early on. This would make a lot of sense as it would line up with the events that took place in Fuchsia Village. Shanks saw promising properties in Luffy. Shanks probably saw some indicators, or for some reason kind of in a way knew that Luffy might be the person that he's looking for. Luffy may be the next Joy Boy. So Shanks leaves him with the straw hat, Joy Boy's straw hat probably, or, you know, definitely it was Roger's hat. We know that much. And influences him to go on a pirate journey, thus setting everything into motion. I honestly think it would be a crazy plot point and twist later in the series if Luffy learned that his whole pursuit to become the Pirate King was slightly by design of a higher, more informed power in the form of Shanks. Shanks believes wholeheartedly now that Luffy is Joy Boy because Shanks has witnessed and seen Luffy's ability to gain friends and also just turn his enemies into loyal allies to accomplish great things. I believe this is pretty convenient and kind of adds to my theory because it is literally the complete stark opposite of what was described from the Rocks pirates. Like, what is the difference between Luffy and Rocksteady Xebec? Why is Rocksteady Xebec not going to achieve that goal of overthrowing the world government and becoming Joy Boy, but Luffy is? That is because Luffy can actually bring people together. He's the righteous character. He brings people who normally probably hate each other together. He brings them into his crew and makes them allies, make them actually want to assist and help Luffy. Like, Crocodile was in a way almost helping Luffy and helping people at Marineford, even though he kind of had no reason to. Mihawk even stated it himself, it's just kind of this effect that Luffy has. So this is also once again adding into my long-time theory that Roger created the pirate era in order to find a true successor to Joy Boy, which we all know in this case is Luffy. And the interesting part of this theory, however, guys, is whether Shanks's overall intentions and motivations are evil or if they're righteous. Like, he's trying to further Xebec's goals or if he's trying to further Roger's goals. Shanks is either trying to guide Luffy to be the next Joy Boy so he can overthrow the world government and benefit the whole world, so it's like in everybody's self-interest, or Shanks is secretly trying to further his father's nefarious goals of becoming king of the world. And while he realizes he can't do this himself, he wants to do this by manipulating Luffy, aka Joy Boy. So Roger in this scenario is going to be the element that leads Luffy to overthrow the world government, not for Shanks, but for himself and his own dream of becoming the pirate king and achieving One Piece. So you see, Gold Roger created the pirate era in order to steer Joy Boy onto the right path and not into the path of manipulation that Shanks possibly has in store for him. But that's only if Shanks turns out to be kind of evil, which in itself is a little bit crazy and unlikely. With all that being said, that was my theory. That is my Shanks is Xebec's son theory, accompanied by Shanks's further role in the end game of the story, because before this revelation I honestly had no clues as to what Shanks's goals, functions, and like what he would do end of story. Like, is Luffy just gonna beat him? Is it gonna be simple as that? It really can't be as simple as that, because Shanks is this super secret agent character who, while we all admire him because he's handsome and cool and just a jock, a little bit ridiculous how much we don't know about this guy. Like, we literally don't know anything about him. I honestly am convinced at this point that Shanks is not a completely 100% good guy. But what do you guys think? What do you think Shanks's further functions in the story are going to be? Do you think that my theory is trash? Do you think it has some merit? Whether or not it's actually going to be true or not, I honestly think that this is low-key a baller theory. I feel like a lot of this stuff that I've said in this video also lines up with my other theory videos, so I'm just kind of stoked about it. Tell me how you guys liked it down in the comments below. If you have any questions regarding this theory or anything you want to tell me, leave it down in the comments below. I love comments. They're my favorite thing about YouTube, so you leave one, you basically make my day. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to slap a like on it. Hit that notification bell if you want to see more videos like this. We also have a Discord. It's pretty awesome, but we're a little bit lonely right now. So if you want to talk about anything geeky, One Piece, or anything like that, join the Discord. With all that being said, I'm going to have to see you guys in the next one.